If you're easily offended, this channel ain't for you. Trust me. All right, welcome back to Never Regret Projects. My name is John, and today I'm working on a project that's not mine. Yeah, like I really need more projects to work on, and a project that's not even mine. But today, I'm helping someone out. We are working on a 1959 Ford F100 short bed. And we're gonna try and make this thing run. Someone's replaced the gas tank and put it under the bed, taking it out from the back of the cab. Ran new fuel line up the frame rail. There's a fuel pump up there underneath the end of the cab. You can just barely see it. Did a good job doing this. The bed didn't have a floor in it. The bed is sitting right there. They're getting wood for the bed to put the bed back on. No big deal. But this was somebody's daily about 15 years ago. And they drove it every day. And they built this truck. The drive shaft's out because we towed it. The drive shaft's sitting right there. And this has bucket seats, nice gauge console, decent looking radio, auto on the floor shifter. Looks like out of a Mustang. The pedals are still here for the clutch, because this would have been a 3-speed on the column or a 3-speed on the floor truck. It's got some rust in it, some patch panels here and there. That's the air cleaner for the motor. We'll see it in a minute. But all in all, for a 59, not a bad looking truck. Glass is all intact, doors open and close. The door panels are there. So not a bad truck in all. That could have used some help, but that's where the gas tank fill spout would have been. Somebody painted it, looks like with house paint, the way it's flaking off. But hey, use what you got, right? Right. Decent job of building the old bumper. I'd have probably put bolts in it here to hold it in place, because it's kind of a little loose. So yeah, now for what's under the hood. That's a 350 Buick motor. Supposedly they stopped driving it 10 years ago. Excuse me. Supposedly they stopped driving it 10 years ago. It's supposed to drive. Everything's good with it. It's just set for 10 years. Today, we're going to see if we can get this 4-barrel Buick motor to run. That's our plan. What's involved in making it run? Well, 3 things: compression, fuel, and ignition. Distributor. So we got to see if we've got spark. That's not that big a deal. We have a spark tester. Radiator was put in here. It was fabric hobbled, but hey, it works. Solid 5-blade fan. You know, somebody built a cross member. Looks like they did a pretty decent job. Chains on it. I like the chain. Keep it from flexing too much and ripping the motor mount apart. Do we have oil? Let's see here. We do. And it's way over full. Oh, it smells like gas. We are gonna have to do something about that. I hate, can I say hate? I hate these fuel filters. I think we're gonna replace it with that one. These glass filters are really nice, don't get me wrong. They're really nice when they stay together. I have seen so many of these vibrate apart. And then you've got gas shooting all over everywhere. No, I just don't like that. So we're eliminating that because we can. If this was my truck, I'd be putting a fuel pump back on it. But Oh, and the fuel pump goes right down here. Right there. Am I pointing in the right spot? Yeah, right there. I'd be putting a mechanical fuel pump back on it, but hey, this isn't my truck, so that's probably not going to happen. That's got a Chevy carburetor on it. Chevrolet carburetors all come out the side. Ford, Pontiac, Buick. Let's see. Or Chevrolet come out the front. I don't know. Anyway, it's a GM 4-barrel. So, and it is a Rochester quadrijet. It is not one of those others. We are going to take this apart and make sure that that filter is not plugged. I'm going to replace this filter right here because that's what I do. I really don't want the problem that could cause. I really don't like all this rubber fuel line. The owner of the vehicle does have new steel line that we are going to run. I'm going to help them run it down the frame rail, move the fuel pump so it's closer to the fuel tank so it pushes fuel better, because fuel pumps push fuel. They don't pull fuel. At least the electric ones do. They're pusher pumps. Battery came with the truck, and that battery says 10 of 19 on it right there on that little blue sticker. If we can focus on it. And it still cranks the truck. I'm not disappointed with that. So let's start by seeing if we have spark. All right, so one of the things, damn, you can hardly see me. One of the things that we do around here, or at least that I do around here, is make tools when you don't have them that work. So I have, you can laugh all you want, I really don't care, Harbor Freight spark plug tester. The problem is, this is for electronic ignition distributors, which means that this plug on here is different than what goes on a point type distributor cap. On a point type distributor cap, there should be a stud that in here goes down into the distributor cap. On this distributor cap, or an electronic ignition distributor cap, this cover snaps onto the distributor because it has a stud on it that comes up out of the distributor cap that looks just like this, and that would go on and make the satisfying clicking noise. We don't have that, so I have to make this work. And in order to do that, I'm going to use my friend, a 1/4-20 bolt in this. So if you notice, there's a nut on here, and that nut goes inside this hole and holds against that rubber piece so this doesn't move back and forth, and it also keeps it from pushing this way out. And that 1/4-20 hole, or bolt head, is too big to fit into the distributor. So I got a couple of alligator clips, and what I'm going to do, I'm going to clip this into the alligator clip so that the alligator clip clicks onto the metal tab that's in there. I'm going to hook a piece of wire to this and wrap it to this. Then I can ground this in, we can turn it over, and I can see if we have spark. So that's how I'm going to do this. And next, you get to watch me do it. Yeah, I'm recording. All right. Should grab two of the alligator clips the same size, but that's okay. I'll live with it. Fold that over. Fold that over. Then the copper goes down. Then we use a pair of pliers. Close that up. Close that up. Go. Just crimp them down so these are nice and tight. This does two things. It holds the wire from being pulled out, and it pushes that copper contactor up against the alligator clip so it can make good contact. Should I solder this? Yes. Am I going to? No. Maybe someday. Not today. Not feeling that enthusiastic today. There's one end. Now to do the other end. This one I'll do a little bit different. Not a whole lot though. This one I'm just going to fold in half. I am going to push the folded over piece into here to just where the copper is coming out, that part right there. And then I'm going to crimp it all together. I'm going to put a crimp down here so that it holds the coated piece of the wire very good and tight, and then crimp that so it's nice and solid. Fold that over, and hooray, we go. Now we'll go see how it works. All right, so what I did, took the alligator clip, and you can see inside that coil, or maybe you can't, there's a copper piece. So this alligator clip sits right on top of that copper piece. Goes over and clips to the bolt that's shoved in here, makes good contact into the end. This is grounded. This is grounded right here into the alternator bracket, and we should see a light right there when we crank. All right, whenever you're ready, let's turn this over. Go ahead, do it again. And we have spark. That's good. All right, that means the points are working. I don't have to open the cap. The coil's working. The ignition wire's working. Next object, change that fuel filter. After I put this back together and put the coil wire back on it. All right, so now we are going to change a fuel filter. Fuel filters aren't that hard to change. This is pretty straightforward because of what it is. Make sure we got the right one. Oh, look, the internet's favorite, plastic. There is a right way to put those on. There is a wrong way to put those on. So stay tuned and I will show you the difference. And it all has to do with fuel flow. Loosen the filter, work that off. Hey, there's gas in the fuel line. We like that. That's a very major positive. Now slide that down so that it goes past the clamp, and it has to go with this plastic, with this piece forward. There's also an arrow on it that says flow, and it goes that direction. This is coming from the fuel tank, goes to the carburetor. That's how the fuel flows. Next, we tighten this clamp back up. All right, take that one off, set that up there. Take this one off. Oh, that smells wonderful. Show that to you in a minute. Same process. goes on, goes right past the filter, it goes past that clamp, and we tighten the clamp back down. Don't over tighten these. You can break the fuel filter by over tightening these. One. And for those of you that don't know, this cheap $1.99 Harbor Freight screwdriver, which used to be a freebie, is wonderful because it's got two different socket ends on it. And usually one of the two ends will fit the hose clamps. If not, you get the screwdriver bit to go with it. And that's how you change fuel filter. Now, if you look in here, you see that right there? That's rust. That right there is bad. I don't like that at all. But hey, it's out now. So there we go. All right, so why don't you turn the key on and just let the fuel pump run for a minute. Oh, this is wonderful. Okay, so with fuel pump on, our fuel level is settled out, as you can see right there. Fuel doesn't look too bad, but we have fuel pouring out of the throttle plate. All right, turn fuel pump off, which means this float, or at least the needle, has stuck in the open position. So we are going to show you a certified patented method of fixing that. Turn fuel pump back on, please. She's still dripping. If you look right there, you can see it dripping off the throttle plate. And the throttle plate is right there at the point of the pliers. She's still dripping. Maybe the float is stuck too good. Well, it slowed down. Nope, there it goes. Now she's coming out through the top. The accelerator pump. Turn the key off, please. All right, so now we have to do minor surgery on the quadrajet. And if you notice anything about this quadrajet, the choke plate is not hooked up. There's no bracket there. The duals, the back four don't have the restrictor bracket. The choke assembly is completely missing. It's here in the intake, but it's not here on the carburetor. So the only linkage I really got to worry about is that one right here for this accelerator pump. But I'm not a lot worried about that one. But what I'm going to do first is I'm going to take this off and see how bad that filter is. Can't be too bad, just allowing fuel to go through, but I still want to see how bad it is, just because.
Is there in some carburetors possibly
all right, so 1-inch wrench, 5/8 wrench, unless this has been boogered up really bad, like a lot of people do to them, then it's vice grip size. And I do have a pair of vice grips if I need to. But the 1-inch wrench holds the nut that goes into the filter housing. This will not expose the filter. All this is doing is making sure that this piece of pipe seats properly into here. I like watching these turn. I hate seeing these whole things turn with the piece of pipe in it. If it does, then we'll undo this hose clamp right here, because it's the only other way to do it. I don't like doing it that way, but hey, but when we redo the fuel line for this, we're probably going to get a new nut here, and we're going to do it the right way. See if we can get this apart. I don't know if we can or can't, but we're going to try. Oh, go right there. All right. Oh, hey, she broke loose. Awesome. I like that. Okay. So, with that said, and that's the way it should work. And warning to those who do this, Teflon tape is not required on this bolt or on this nut. Never. Teflon tape and gas cause a leak. This is a pipe thread. This will seal down onto that flange inside here. You do not need Teflon tape. That just causes a leak in the long run. I hate leaks, especially in a fuel line. Now, yay, that broke loose. There we go. Awesome. And again, this is a pipe fitting. If it leaks, you don't have it set in here right. You do not need Teflon tape in this. Oh, wonderful. There's no filter in here. Well, it's one less piece I got to change, I guess. But you don't need the Teflon tape. If you need Teflon tape, it's not tight enough. Let's put that back in. And they do make Teflon tape for gasoline, yes, and you can put that on there. I don't like doing it, but hey, to each their own. If that's your thing, go for it. I'm okay with it if that's what you want to do. It's yours. I'm not going to tell you how to do yours. I'm just telling you how I do mine. Come on, are you tight enough? You are now. You can get that too tight, you can break this housing, and you can strip this housing out. Don't do that bad. If you do that, you will be replacing the entire carburetor, or at least the body of the carburetor. And that's bad. That is very bad. That should be tight enough. And that is why you have a complete set of wrenches. 1-inch wrench here, 5/8 wrench here. Leave it bolted to the carburetor, or leave it bolted to the carburetor bolted to the intake manifold. Those should come loose with wrenches. That's your tech tip for the day. Use a wrench. Now, let's pull a carburetor off, or carburetor top off anyway. All right, so this bolt, screw here, screw here, screw here, screw here, screw here. 2 screws back here where my 2 fingers are, and the air cleaner stud. Then all you have to do is finagle it out around the accelerator pump, which sounds like it's working. Surprise, surprise. And then this top can come off, and that will expose the float in here, which will be the next thing that you see, because I'm not going to show you me taking all the screws out of it. All right, so I made a mistake. I forgot 2 screws that are inside this throttle plate, or the choke plate, right down in there. That one and that one. Those 2 have to come out also. These 2 back here are 2 long bolts. All the rest of them are all the same size. So it doesn't matter where those 5 go through, or yeah, where those 5 go. But those 2 are specific. You have to have the 2 long ones when you put it all back together to go right back down in that hole. All right, pro tip of the day. A couple of them today. This is the bracket that holds the jets for the 4-barrel. And when it comes up, it opens up and allows it to dump fuel into it, and that opens up when the throttle's open. So you can pull this top off without pulling those. I almost never do because I don't want to bend this piece and I don't want to bend the jets. Take the screw out, they pull right out. All right, so here is the carburetor with the top off, accelerator pump. The rubber looks pretty good in it. I'm not disappointed by it. There's the primary needles for the primary jets. So we get this gasket off here without tearing it. Goes nice and slow. Putty knife helps sometimes, but I've also found that putty knife will rip it a lot easier too. So just depends. And yes, I will take the needles out just like that, because depending on how old that gasket is, that could tear when you take those out. Set them off over here. Coffee cup. Yay. All right, there's a cover right here. Covers that needle. Well, the float's up. It's not sunk. It's just not up high enough. So let's see. That could be a nice simple fix. Okay, so that is the needle and seat right there. And that seat, for some reason, isn't turning off. Is that just adjusted wrong? Could be. Well, we can fix that. So the idea behind it is that it comes up, and that float's set about right. About a 1/4 inch from the top here, 1/4 to 3/8 of an inch from the top, with the needle in the seated position with your finger on it. That's about where it's supposed to be. Then it gives it about 1/2 to 3/4 of a fuel bowl full of fuel, which is where it's supposed to be. Now, there could be crud in the seat causing the needle not to seat in it. That is possible, and we are going to find out. All right, so this is going to be controversial. A lot of people don't do this. A lot of people will do this. A lot of people will bitch. Whatever works for you. Just because it works for me doesn't mean it'll work for you. But I'm going to pull this back apart. I'm going to take parts cleaner with the straw, and I'm going to blow in here and see if there's dirt inside this seat. That's the brass piece. Yes, I can remove that if I want to. I'm hoping not to have to, but if I have to, I will. I'm hoping to blow this through, clean it, put the top back on it, turn the fuel pump back on, watch the fuel level rise, and see if this shuts off. It will shut off without the top on it, if everything is right. So, next step, pull that apart, which means I need my wrenches back. Now, let's see if I can find a place for you to sit that ain't in the way, and that allows you to see what's going on. Yeah, kind of. Better than the fuel pump video I did. All right. Okay, I know these will come apart because I just had them apart. Okay. Back as far as that one will go. There we go. That one's off. Now, and here we go. The internet's about to go ballistic. Oh no, he's using parts cleaner or brake cleaner on carburetor. You gotta use choke cleaner. No, you don't. Okay. Okay. Now, let's put the seat back in. Let's put the float back on. Not yet. put this back on. Yeah, the fuel line back up first.
I'm just giving him precision.
It's okay. I can edit out dead space. Now, some people are going to say you got to put the cover back on over top of the needle. No, you don't. Not if you're trying to see what the hell's going on. You really don't need to. If you want to, go ahead, but you're not going to be able to see what's happening. And I want to see what's happening. Now you can go hit it.
Crank it.
No, don't crank it. Just turn the key on.
Key on.
All right, fuel pump's pumping. See here, it's putting, okay, so, see here, it's pushing right past that seat. So, turn it off.
Oh.
I want to think it got the wrong pressure fuel pump. I wonder if they got the wrong pressure fuel pump in it. That's a very good possibility. I'm gonna have to go investigate. All right, let's go see about a fuel pump. See what we got for a PSI on a fuel pump. For a carburetor, quadrajets love between 3 and 6 PSI. I will bet this is a 7 or 8 PSI fuel pump. Let's find out. And if it is, we're gonna have to get a different fuel pump. All right. HEP 2A. That's all it says. That's the only tag on it. Jeez, what fun that's gonna be. All right. Well, I know which one to do and go look it up. Let's see what we got. All right, so I've saved you the boring process of me putting that back together. The owner is debating on whether she's gonna put a rebuild kit in it and put a new needle and seat, which is my suggestion, or buying a brand new carburetor and putting on it. We'll see what happens. Stay tuned, because that's going to be another episode for another time. Until then, thank you for watching. Hope you enjoyed your day, and I hope you kind of learned something. If you need a question answered about something that was done today, put a message down there. I read them all. I try to respond to them all. At this point, I don't have enough followers not to respond to them all. So again, if you have a question about something that was done, ask. I'll be happy to answer it. Till then, have a great day. Please comment, like, and subscribe. Bye. Okay, I thought it was going to be the end of the video. We turned the fuel pump back on, and now the bowl's not leaking. So we know we have spark. We know we have fuel. We know the motor turns over. Let's see if it will run. Go ahead, start it. Look at that.
Yeah.
Look at that. Runs like a top. There is water in the radiator. I don't want to run it much more than that until I can put the drive shaft back in it, but that worked. The wheel run was successful. Holy crap. I didn't have to do nothing to the timing. Didn't have to do nothing to the coil. Just checked it for spark, and we had spark. I will have to check the alternator and see if it's charging. If it is, I'm going to leave it alone. If it isn't, we're going to change that, put a 10 SI on it, and I can put that pulley back on it because I like the double barrel pulley. And then I'll rewire it. Whoever did this wiring in here did an awesome job of making it work in this truck for this motor and wiring everything up the way it should be wired. Congratulations. This is one of the best wire jobs I've seen in a long time for something that was not supposed to be in a hole that it is in. This will need an oil change before it's run much longer. This will need a radiator coolant flush before much longer. Transmission will probably be low, We'll check it, probably do a flush and fill on it, but there you go. One successful will run, and I don't know why he did that carburetor, but it's not leaking anymore. So leave it alone. If it don't work, if it ain't broke, don't fix it. Oh, wait. I forgot to put the stud back in it for the air cleaners. We can throw the air cleaner back on top of that. And we're done. Guys, have a great day.